Okay, early 2025 winter blizzard here. We got a Toro model 37781 snow thrower thingy. Okay, Toro 252cc. This is kind of a cool joystick thing here. I've never seen this. Kind of neat. You squeeze the trigger up like that. It was working earlier. What do you do? Oh yeah, kind of push it forward like this, and that thing does the articulates. That's pretty sweet. Okay. And the guy had it run last year. Says the gas is still in it from last year. So, and that it fires up when he sprays carburetor fluid in it. So when he brought it over, I told him, I would just do the same thing that you just did, and if it would not stay running and it has gas in it and the fuel's on, here's the fuel switch on off right here. This thing, it's on, and then that's off. So fuel on, he gave us some spray, started up, then died, would not stay running. So I told him, hey, just going to have to yank the carburetor, clean it out, especially if the fuel's been in there for like a year. So probably get to it here and disconnect the main fuel line, let it drain out into a pan, and go from there, get the old stuff out, and then proceed to yanking off the carburetor. And it looks like we got 10mm bolts holding this little cover over the engine. And the key's going to come out easy. This cover looks like it's partially held on with the carburetor mounting nuts here. And this stuff should just slide out. We'll have to take that little primer off maybe. Yeah. And then anything else holding it on, we've got to have the governor arm and spring link disconnected, and it really doesn't look like there's a whole lot to it. So I'm going to zap these off here and see how easy this is to pull off. Looks like it'll be pretty easy. Anything over here? Probably something over here. Yeah, there's another one over here, and another one over here, and that should come off. The primer hose down there. So I got the primer hose there. We'll take the little clip off of that, take that off, and then we have the electrical connectors here. Probably doesn't matter which one goes to which, but the so I'll just take it off from this end, pull it off, and get my bucket over here, my pan, and just let this stuff drain into the pan. I'll turn the fuel off. Okay, I might get a little something to hold that stuff out of the way, but okay. I can't find any of my WD-40 and stuff, so we'll just get this out of the way. I'd like to spray some WD-40 on that before I attempt to pull any of those lines off, but this machine's pretty new. It ought to come off there pretty easy. So let's see if I do like to kind of wedge them off if I can. If there's any way to do that versus grabbing it like this. I don't want to really booger up the hose.
All right, here I was able to kind of get my screwdriver right down on there on the side of it, and then just turn my screwdriver to be able to pull it off. There we go. All right, now looks like I'm just going to get a bigger hose and my drip pan to drain that stuff out. A little bit bigger hose. Okay. Might be able to go ahead and reuse this old gas just once I get the old junk cleaned out of the carburetor. It'll run. I might be able to reuse this old gas and just let it burn instead of throwing it away. So got a pan here to catch, and then I just keep this in my toolbox. It's just kind of a, well, when it's warm, it's pretty flexible, but it's like in the teens right now. And so it's cold, not very flexible. I'll just put this in here. It's just, I use this to direct fuel around when I'm draining stuff. Okay, it'd be nice if it just slipped on there. There it goes, just to hold it in place. And then we'll turn this fuel on, make sure it's going to drain out. Okay, it's draining, that's good. So let that do its business. And man, I wish my transfer pump was working. Okay, I'm going to open the can. Sometimes the lid, sometimes it makes it go a little faster. It's draining out. We'll just let it do its thing. Drain out. Okay, so much for that pump idea. We'll let it drain. Okay, while that's draining, we'll just take the carburetor off, and here's how you do that. Let's see. Yeah, so you got to be able to get this far enough out. Okay, and this is how this little gasket comes off, just like that. You got to be able to get this rod that comes down. It turns down that way 90 degrees, and it goes down in a hole inside of this plastic mechanism, and there's a slot above it, and if you get it, there you go. This one came out easy. That's nice. Sometimes you got to take these studs out just to be able to get the carburetor in a position to where you can get that rod off of there. So, and then I got the small spring that goes in that little hole right there. You can see that. And now this is ready to just slide right off. Should be. Yep. Okay, and we'll go take this apart and see what's going on with it. Okay, so we got the carburetor there. It looks like it's leaking gas out, so it has some gas in it. And I'm finding my 10 millimeter wrench. What I do with it, I just had it. There it is. I had to use this to get to that fifth 3/8. Let me, so I'm making sure I'm not lying to you. Oh, it's 5/16. So that was a 5/16. Those mounting bolts that were on that. And what I do with my 10 millimeter, I was thinking about putting an ad out on the Craigslist or whatever, Facebook, to do this stuff, but it's so freaking cold. My garage isn't. Okay, here's the big reveal. And yeah, that's just so, it's contaminated, but it's just got all that yucky, what do they call that stuff? I'm trying to preserve this O-ring if I can at all. Very gentle with it. I may not have a spare, so I want to save that. Okay, looks like it's still in one piece. Always try to save these O-rings if you can, these bowl rings. All right, so real glazed up. It's a cool color, amber. It's sticky. I can feel it. It's like sticky, sticky. Yeah, it's caramelized. And so all that stuff's got to be cleaned off. And thank you for the carburetor spray. And actually, I don't have carburetor spray. I've got brake clean. Okay, and I'll just put this bowl nut back in there and try to trap some brake clean inside of there and just let it sit and soften up that stuff right there. So set that to the side and let it kind of soak. That bolt in there, it's probably passing through there, not airtight, but now in this case, with it being so glazed, I'll probably just kind of like leave this glaze here. I don't want to spray and ruin the bowl gasket. So I'm just going to spray on this stuff. Unfortunately, I'm going to spray a little bit on the float. Anything that's not metal, I try to keep that spray away from as much as I can. But right here on this pin, that's going to hopefully loosen up some of that crap and get it to where I can at least take it out. That pin holding the float on there, can I get it? Is it going to come easy? It ain't coming easy. Okay, it just kind of popped. It might come now. There it goes. Just kind of grabbing it, going easy with it. There we go. So I like working on a little colored blanket if I can to keep all these carburetor parts nice. And see the float, that should come out just nice and easy. It should lift right out, but the needle is just so tarred up inside of there, it's sticking. So I'm kind of trying to gently lift up on this. Okay, get a big screwdriver in there and just gently pop it up, because that needle down in there is stuck down in the seat. Okay, let me get this thing. Is this, yeah, that's good. See, I'm going to get it in there and just be real ginger with it. Just kind of go back and forth, easy. If it's real stuck, I might try to grab on top of that needle on that side and maybe twist it around a little bit. Try to be very, very gentle here. Okay, so I'm going to reuse this stuff. It should be fine. And just all gummed up. Okay, hands are starting to kind of get cold now. All right, there we go. Want to try not to get more of that stuff in there. Maybe let it sit for a few seconds. Warm my hands up. Oh man, check this out. This is about the worst I've seen. I've seen it look really bad in the float bowl area, and a lot of debris and junk and white powder sometimes just build up completely. But I don't know if I've ever seen like a main jet as clogged up as this thing is right here. That's pretty bad. You should be able to see like a brass plug with a slot in it for a screwdriver, and then a hole right down the middle that goes to the emulsion tube that's sticking up right there, that little gold cylinder thing. That emulsion tube's got like about 16 plus micro holes in it, and that's after fuel goes through the main jet orifice right here, and this is obviously completely clogged up. Got a bunch of debris on it. I'm going to blow it out here and see if that reveals anything. Okay, just blew out some crap from there. Oh, look at that. I don't even know what that is. I really don't know how this is supposed to be working right now. I've never seen this right here. It looks like something. Is there a piece of debris there? I don't know. Wow. Okay. So looks like there's a little slot here. What is this? Oh, it's debris. Look at this. Huh. Okay, I can feel the slots. They're down there. It's going to take a little work to get to here. Look at that. It's not looking really any better, but I mean, what is that stuff? Okay. I'm I squirt this out and put a little dab of ATF in there. I can't find my WD-40. And so that's that. That's where that it's being revealed. See if I can dig down in here and just kind of clean this up a little bit, scrape the stuff off. Get a better. So I got to get this slotted screwdriver down in here eventually. And man, how did he get so much junk down in his float bowl? Might have some tank contamination up in the gas tank. I'll probably put a inline fuel filter between the tank and the carburetor somewhere. If I can. Okay, so that's more what it's supposed to look like right there. Yep. Then we'll try to get the correct screwdriver to take that out. Will it be, if I had some needle nose pliers, that vice grip type, that would really help out to take this thing off. I can try normal needle nose. I don't even like having it get to this point, but that has to come out. Okay, it came out. And there it is. And it's got some goo on it. As long as it's still sealing, we'll just leave it as is. And I got to bend it back. I bent it a little bit trying to get it out. So I'll just bend it back straight and should be good to go. Spray this down right now. Okay, I got a different end here, and it looks like this one's a little bit thicker. It looks to me like it's a little thicker. The one on the left, it's not as wide, but it's thicker. And let's see how that feels going down. Much better. I'm feeling better about that. And I'm going to go stick this in a vise. Turn this choke lever this way. And I'll stick it in a vise nice and easy. And then torque down on that thing. I'll let you know. All right, here I wanted to point out a little problem I had. All the things that I was mentioning, like getting the right size screwdriver and making sure that you get this main jet out properly. I screwed up, okay, but it was just because it was so, well, I could have used a more exact screwdriver that fit down in there. I was a little bit in a hurry and I was freezing cold, and this is what ended up happening to the end of that main jet. You might be able to see that the main jet is still intact. I never boogered that up at all. What I will do is reuse this, and I'm going to file down the sides here to make it go smoothly back into the body of the carburetor right here where it threads in. See right there, okay. And that should be going back in nice and good. And along with that, fortunately, the big thing is to get this emulsion tube out. And there are, let me see right there, let's take a look and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this side. So that's 7 on the other side, so that's a total of 14 holes. They're pin holes. If you go turn a 180, there's 7 corresponding on the other side, and then add on to that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 10. So that's that's 10 plus 14. So that's 24 holes total in this emulsion tube. That really, if you're going to do carburetor cleaning, those need to be cleaned out. All of them. You got to push a little rod through them. That's what I just got done doing. And here's the here's a little pinhole. I think I use one even smaller than this, but you got to get into every hole, make sure it goes through every one, and you might want to do it twice on both sides. Go through this side, turn it 180, go through that side, turn it 90 degrees, go through those, All right, 180, go through those again. All right, make sure that these are all cleared out. And I soaked them in a little bit of acetone, and now I'm going to clean out this main jet. I just got this out. I used some automatic transmission fluid to finally get this out, and this was the there was a screwdriver that I eventually used to get this out. I tried it one more time this morning when I was about to just do the best cleaning I could. I was about to buy a new carburetor, and I guess fortunately when I went to the lawnmower shop that I called ahead of time to see if they had my carburetor, they said they did, and they brought it up to the front when I got there, and it ended up being some thing that didn't match up with this carburetor, and I brought the old one in, and the choke lever was different. It didn't have a screw on it like this one does. It did not have a primer. This is for the push button primer that's on there, and it's kind of strange that this has a manual choke and a primer. Usually it's got one or the other, you know. But so then they sold me a kit, and the kit came with the I just dropped that emulsion tube. I'll have to find it here in a minute. So the kit came with let's see, an O-ring, came with some gaskets. It came with these little washers here, and they're like hard washers. One of them's definitely for the float plug. Came with the pin that holds the float on there. Came with a new float, a new needle, and that little spring that goes on the needle. Okay, so you got all that stuff in the kit. Is there anything else? And another gasket. So all that stuff came in the kit that I bought. It was like 12 bucks. All right, so that's fine. I bought that because when I was trying to take out the other needle, it just had so much crud and junk on it. That's what happened. I ended up busting that needle out. I bent it trying to get it out, and then when I tried to re-straighten it, I felt it just tweak like bad, and then I just grabbed it a little more, and it went ahead and broke. So I needed a new carburetor or the kit, and since I was able to get that emulsion tube out, it really is going to work out nicely. So I'm just going to get all this back together and put the machine back together in the reverse order that I took it apart. And when I turn the recording back on, I'll be firing it up. Just give this a good blowout. Make sure all the orifices are clear. There, all these. Anywhere you can see a hole, blow them out. Oh yes, and by the way, I'll just go ahead and show you how this emulsion tube goes back on. So the bright color, it should all be bright, but this still has a little yucky little gunk on there. Shouldn't hurt anything. The emulsion tube goes in this way. So when you turn it back right side up, you'll see that it's sticking up out of the body of the carburetor. Okay, so this is screwing, goes back in really nice and easy. Okay, as long as that's sticking up a little bit, it's not. I'm not going to force this too much if it doesn't want to go. I'm just going to take and clean off this main jet and the sharp little edges it has, so it's not digging in on its way down. Make sure to get a knife, have it go down there on there real nicely and smooth. Okay. everything's perfect, it all comes out like that, but it never happens like that. So I'm just going to clean this off. And anyway, that's the way it goes back in. So I'm just going to knock off any edges that are sticking out here. It's a little edge right there. A little bitty tiny edge right there that might be catching on to the threads as it's going in. So I'll just kind of file this down real easy. Put it back in. Okay, worked out pretty good, and it's working. I'll start it up for you here. So you got a little primer here, got a little choke. I already got it warmed up, so I'll go kind of half choke. Give a little prime. You got, here's the off switch basically. So that's the rabbit over there on. This is fuel off and on. And give a little pull, should start right up. Or maybe not. Okay, yeah. Get it back to choke here. Okay, choke off. Get a little run here. Hey, if this video helped you out any, like and subscribe. Have a good day. Hope you learned a little something. I did. Always do. Have a good one.